Hey folks, Turbine Guy coming back at you on another cold March day, about 8-9 degrees when I came up. The wind is gone. If we remember, yesterday it was super windy. Sorry about that audio. I think I got it corrected now. But today, on day 90 of the saga, day 90, I want to talk about something that, I did a little research and I discovered what's going on. And that is that the criminal prosecutions of Paul Berquist have begun. They have begun. Yeah, I got my other phone. Turn it down. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyways, it turns out that Paul didn't even know it, but he had a court date on Wednesday. And he told me he'd been so wrapped up and everything else going on, he completely forgot about the pile of tickets that they gave him. Pile being the operative word. And the first three have come to fruition. Excuse me there. Now these tickets are for park in a closed area at a public water access. Now, I want to talk about that in a minute here, but if we can see right up behind me, we can see there's a sign that says cars only. Okay, so there's a couple of spots here that they've got tags specifically for vehicles. Hello. Now, the tickets that the court hearing was for on Wednesday were for December 17th, 21st, and 22nd. And they were $25 fines. Well, they were park in a closed area parking tickets for $25 each. And then there's a $12 criminal surcharge fee. So Paul's now officially a criminal thrice over. And he owed $37. Well, on February 2nd, the first penalty was added. That was $5. Because I guess he missed paying his $37. And the late notice was sent. February 8th, the late notice was returned. That doesn't say anything to the court or the cops or anything, does it? But they just moved on. I mean, if he didn't get notice it was late and they know it got returned, why didn't they attempt another? I don't know. Anyways, March 9th was a failure to appear or pay the fine. And a second penalty was added because he didn't show up in court. Because, as I mentioned a minute ago, he didn't know he had court at that point. So each of these tickets now, with the second penalty at $25, the first one at $5, the 37 gives you a $67 ticket, or a total of $201. Now, the prosecutor, the guy out of Excelsior named Gregory Keller, and I don't see anywhere on his bio that I looked online that said anything about him potentially being a criminal prosecutor at all. It just says he's been a lawyer for 44 years. Now, there's really some questions with this criminal prosecution. Because, as I noted right up here, they do have signage. You can only park cars there and not trailers. And they were giving him Paul tickets. These are criminal tickets. Paul's now, like I said, thrice convicted, petty misdemeanor type of guy. Yes, criminal ticket. And they switched over from giving him this pile of tickets when they started the civil lawsuit. So which is it? Is it that he was criminally parking his boat here, or is there a civil issue going on? Now that's the crazy part, okay? If they really thought this was criminal, why didn't they just play it out in criminal court? Why did they file in civil court? And why was none of this addressed by the prosecution in civil court? Why didn't the prosecution explain that, well, we were giving these tickets and that didn't seem to be working? I mean, they're the ones who blocked the boat. Of course, it's not working. But they're giving these criminal tickets. Let's get to civil court. Insane's a good. The issue is, here we go. Let me spin the camera around. Of course, the boat is parked here. And they say it's parked in a closed zone. Yet, this is not a closed zone. This is a place where you park boats with trailers. It's exactly what this is. Not only that, They know to mark this. Right here you can see vehicle with trailer parking only. And right over here in this turnaround area, you can see a no parking sign. So they know how to mark the lot, but there isn't anywhere, and I could climb over and show you, that there are any signs that say you can't park a boat overnight or that this area is closed during the winter or anything like that. So to the turbine guy, this issuing of tickets every day for a period of time, followed up by a civil lawsuit in an area where it's not closed, says to me that the prosecution just doesn't know what the hell it's doing. They're going by the seat of their pants. They don't have any real ordinances or anything to deal with it or to go after Paul. But now he's sitting here in double jeopardy in two, you know, he's in criminal court and he's in civil court. And the question is, should he even be in either, because it's his company, U.S. Boat and Recreation here. It's his company that's moving this. It's not Paul. And it's not Ben. It's U.S. Boat and Recreation. And we're going to find when we examine the lawsuit that U.S. Boat and Recreation is going to rear its head and kind of claim duty. So I don't know. Paul's in a tough spot now. What do you do with this pile of tickets? Do you give them to your lawyer, who's going to cost more than the ticket cost itself just to read the dang ticket? Do you just pay the tickets and then fight it from the other side, pay him under duress so that penalties and fees don't build, and just throw that in with the claims at the end? Or do you hold out and wait? You hold out and wait and see, what are we going to do next? Do we just keep waiting on these, keep letting them play their game down at criminal court that, hey, we got to keep going after this guy because we got a timeline of things to do? You know, Paul's got a bunch more of these. I'm not quite sure how many, but it's a handful. And, you know, it's probably a month's worth. He's probably got at least 30 of them. So is he going to have 30 tickets at $20 each? Plus more fees? Well, actually 37, because court fee of $12 in there. I don't know. If I were Paul, what would the turbine guy do? This one's a tough one, but given the way the court case is going, I might just want to pay all the damn tickets and then fight them from the other side. Pay him under duress. Let it be known specifically under duress. You know, he does have more court dates, he said, and he's got to dig that out and figure out what's going on with these tickets. But what do you do? I mean, it's the same thing. How come you've got all these different tickets in different grades? Why aren't they all wrapped together? You know, when someone commits, let's say, felony murder somewhere, they're usually charged with 3 or 4 different things, maybe having a gun or a hate crime with it or something else. Excuse me, but they all get charged. They aren't separate court dates. They aren't treated as separate acts and separate incidents. But that's what's going on here. I don't know. Turbine guy thinks the prosecution really doesn't understand what they're doing. I don't think one side of the ticket, or one side, the civil, has any idea what's going on in the criminal side. I mean, the government, they not like they talk to each other. And they should be, though. Should be double prosecution over the same thing. I mean, getting sued in court is enough punishment for anything. But now you got to get these criminal tickets too, and you got to be a criminal. Parked in an area. Oh, by the way, on the thing, they said he pled guilty by not being there. I don't think Paul pled guilty to anything. And maybe I would send up, you know what, turbine guy's changing his mind. I would set up, the next court date, I would bring in every single ticket. I would bring in pictures of what I'm showing here that nothing is posted. I would bring in the civil lawsuit that said, hey, you know what? I'm in civil court. These were a mistake, a bad idea by the county. And if I really am violating, why aren't I still accumulating tickets? I would ask the judge a lot of questions and let the judge decide, but I would give him plenty of evidence, or her, I guess, him or her, plenty of evidence with which to make the proper decision. Yes, not guilty, but the court says he pled guilty. He wasn't even there. How can you plead guilty when you're not there? Did the judge plead guilty for him? Did the prosecutor plead guilty for him? I don't know. Well, it's a sticky wicket, as the British would say. What do? The turbine guy just said what he would do. I will gather evidence and bring everything into the next court date and say, I don't know what's going on with this prosecution, but this is double jeopardy. I had every right to park there. I have every right to still be there. Nothing is posted. There's no ordinance or statute that says I can't park there. These tickets are void for no standing. That's what the turbine guy would do. There you have it, folks. Criminal prosecution's begun. Whole nother chapter in the C-Note saga. Turbine guy, signing out.